Hello, 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 guys. I am just getting the chat ready. This is Stephanie, Divine Priestess, and I am here coming to you live to share a message that I have been going through and experiencing and receiving. As I get the chat ready to share, I wanted to make sure I am sharing this to other platforms because really I find that I don't want to be trying to record the same message over again, only because the same message probably won't be conveyed twice. And when spirit comes through, we gotta let her come through and, let all those who have ears to hear, and eyes to see, and be ready to receive what is being translated here. So tonight we are going to be tuning in to the energies of Jupiter and Pisces. Comment down below. How have you guys been feeling the past couple of days? And I ask this because on an energetic standpoint perspective, for those of us who are on the cosmic path, the spiritual journey, our energy can be influenced by a lot of factors, right? And again, I think this goes back to the conversation a couple of weeks, like a week or two ago, about the dark side of the moon and what happens when we go through these full moon experiences. And so there are moments in time, at least for me, I've been feeling on the physical level where it was time to kind of draw back, tune into myself, and see what it is that I needed to learn right now in this season, especially because we just had the new moon in Taurus celebration. It was this past week on the 11th. And for that reason, exactly, a lot of changes occur, especially when you are looking to shift into a new area of your life or call in something new. And so this is always a constant theme in the spiritual path and the cosmic journey. It is, okay, I want to call for something new, but I have to go through a moment of release, a moment of unlayering. Now, I believe, now that I'm just checking everything, I believe I have the chat open. So please comment down below if you are watching. Right now I have this up on Facebook and YouTube and live on Twitch, and I'm working my way over to Instagram. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we are going to discuss the energy download messages I've been getting from guidance regarding Jupiter and Pisces. And what does that mean? Especially with our own individual experiences, as well as for a lot of us, we have this question, what are my spiritual gifts? What is spirit trying to tell me? All right, so just giving us a moment here. I am finally going live on Instagram here. And to reiterate the introduction, hello everyone. This is Stephanie. And you might know me as the High Priestess, Divine Empress, Divine Cosmos. And how have you been? The past new moon with the group ceremony that we had, I felt like I needed to take a nice break to draw inward and see where the energy was leading me, guiding me. And so this conversation is about Jupiter in Pisces, and really also bringing in to another topic of perception. And what does that mean for us? For those of us who are embarking on the spiritual journey, on the cosmic journey too, for star seeds, however you identify yourself. And so what is Jupiter in Pisces? So Jupiter in Pisces is a time where, I would say the energy from multi-dimensional realms are coming through. And especially right now, I have been receiving messages about a new way of perception, a new way of seeing. And one of the biggest questions that we always see around in the spiritual community or in gifting, in the energy work, healers, is how do I, connect to spirit? How do I know I'm listening in and tuning into my guides? And so this question really begins with, take this opportunity right now, especially the next couple weeks before the end of the month. We only have like 2 more weeks, to really ground yourself in this idea of connecting to a new way of perception. And so this conversation opens up with how Pisces is this like different realm for us to see through. Think about dreamlike state, right? And most importantly, when it comes to the multi-dimensional realms, the spiritual realm, the energetic realm, working with energy, listening to spirit, and receiving messages. Hey, good morning, guys. How do I tune in? And the biggest message that I received from spirit was like, and that I've been going through on a personal level too, is belief. What lenses, what eyes, what intention are you coming into the space and in order to tune in? And the major reason we start off with belief is because our ego mind, or human experience, the self that is attached to the 3D dimension and to the things that we can see, taste, touch on the physical level, and that we can hold on to, like grasping to death, that part of self, when it comes to the spiritual world and the energetic realms, right, and you want to connect to your higher self, because spirit and the energies at the higher dimensions are always speaking to us, and they're right here. They're not separated. We're not disconnected. They're right here. But if we're not tuned in, if our radar is not tuned into that station, or if we don't believe, how can you trust that message? How are you going to even acknowledge it? And then the most important question, always. Then, exactly. then what are you going to do with that information? Like, this was one of the things that I had tuned into, like, back in my early spiritual journey path. It's like when you pray and you're asking for spirit, for help, for the angels, for guidance, they give you the answers. What are you going to do with it? If you don't do anything with it because you are the vehicle in this 3D realm who has to take the action, if you don't do anything with that, it just sits there. So why did you ask for help? Right? And they can only come through when you ask and you believe. And so with this is a moment in season, Jupiter and Pisces, where we are given the opportunity and we're really guided to learn how to develop those spiritual senses, your spirit body way of seeing, touching, those senses at that aspect and level. And this most recent week, to help better illustrate this, I was introduced to something was coming through, the work with water and water scrying. And I didn't even know that I was doing this for a while. Like, I just, receive messages, I speak to spirit, and they just come through. And so I always had this idea that, like, trusting in something else, or like an item, or like, giving your faith to something, was you giving your power away. But I was actually learning that you have your higher self, right? Who's connected to these higher realms of vibrational energy, right? And you're right there, right? The thing is, when you work with these tools, they help us to put that doubting mind in the back seat so that your vibration matches the vibration of the energy that you're wishing to tap into and access information from, through, right? So you can receive it. And so, water scrying, learning to see messages in the water. I didn't know how to play with that. But little by little, I started seeing that the gods, goddesses, Mother Earth, elements of nature were teaching me about them, especially with the energies in the planets. And I'm like, okay, from what I know, water is a pure cleansing energy. It's a mirror to receive messages from. And all in all whatever tool you feel called to work with is really just you getting to know yourself, your own energy, your own energetic frequency. And someone down in the comments actually said, Arun 316, it said, everyone has their own experience about the biosphere. Yes, they do, because we all have we have our own vibrational frequencies, right? Our own soul song, cosmic crystalline DNA. And this theme of, if those of you who know about, what do you call it? Oh crap, now I forget. But it's when you're sound healing, there we go, thank you. Sound healing carries a frequency. And I was listening to Raquel, and she said something that just hit. And she said, if you learn to listen to the rhythm of your own heartbeat, just placing your fingers right there in your throat, you can sense that beat. You have this rhythm. And it's not like you are tuning the instrument in this aspect, whatever tools you choose to use, whether it be oracle cards, throwing the chicken bones down, right, for divination, or reading the planets, right? It's not that they are changing your song, but it's you're matching vibrations. You know, you're translating it from into this other way of saying, of understanding, and entering this realm so that you'd be able to better or best receive that message. And again, it's so that it works on your perception of like belief, because the most important thing from this lesson is that you take this information and you're asking for guidance and you're co-creating with the universe and everyone. Yes. And that is what I'm learning too about water. And I'm learning, I will touch that bit, what I learned about today, working with water scrying. And it's you connecting to that tool. And it's really important now. And as I go back into my notes, because I know that my messages go here, but I like to try to ground them for you guys so we understand where we're going with this message. Okay. Why is this important? It's so that we have this beautiful balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. We're being guided to bring these beautiful gifts that we have wherever you are in terms of your path, your life journey, to share them, especially because of the collective consciousness, to bring healing. And especially on this planet, we all have our divine purpose, right? But how are you going to trust yourself and believe in yourself if you don't know yourself in your own vibration? And there's this one note, again, like no one magic formula works for everyone. And this is why you have to learn to, they say, I think the first step is meditation. Learn to be still, tune in. And I also got this with meditation, but then don't sit there. Allow it. Like, what are the wisdoms? What are the downloads that you're getting? And go and take it from there and move forward, right? Because, I mean, you're allowing all these other frequencies around you that have been placed on you to shed away so that you can know your true voice, what it is that you're being called to jump to move towards. And so something interesting that I started doing, because when you see down the comments here, the curly-headed hippie said, even the power of just listening to water alone is so powerful. Listening to water. The purity, the vibration that water gives off is healing, right? And something I learned about water, okay, this is where it is. Energy is everything. I want you to keep this in mind and use this as a freaking mantra for this next couple of weeks. Energy is everything. At every moment given, moment in time, we're all made up of molecules, and molecules don't stand still. This goes back to the whole frequency thing, right? And the whole soul song and soul's expression. And they're vibrating, resonating, a sound, information. We call them codes, right? And so with that, essentially, I was learning from my spirit, my higher self, about working with water. Water is this beautiful crystalline energy. If you think about it, the the quantum level, molecular level, it's a molecule, right? That resonates. It has this information. It's a connection to the Akashic records, to the spirit, right? To unity, one consciousness. And when I was being guided to sing to the music, to the water, sing to the water. If you work with your chakras, HUM, HUM, you're working on the third chakra. And this is a self-expression, right? What is your gifts of clairs, you know, coming out and telling you when you tune in, whether it be to energy or to the stars or to the cards or to the chicken bones or water, you know, what are the messages that you're receiving? And this goes back to developing your spirit, your energy, body, your senses. And then vision. I did it again. Some of us might be doing this without really being aware of how we're receiving our messages. So I learned that clairs come through chakras, okay, you know, the third eye. Like it hits differently when you're experiencing it. But the third eye, like, okay, do you receive your messages through vision, like images coming up? Or do you receive your messages just by an inner knowing? Do you receive your messages by like hearing something, like a voice of wisdom comes through for you? Do you receive your messages by feeling? And this just, again, when I was led to water scrying, I was like, oh, snap. I kept writing in my journal. I taste, I see, I touch when I tune into the energy. But I thought it was like physical taste, touch. It was talking about a different vibration of tuning in and building that. And I guess I just wanted to share this because whatever is meant to resonate with you will resonate with you. And the curly-headed hippie says, I was meditating and listening to water sounds, and my whole light body was vibrating softly. I felt like I was levitating, a huge energy shift, and I could feel each chakra dissolving all blockages. And so when these tools call us to work together, again, we're attuning our vibrations, we're raising our frequencies for a reason, for a purpose, for a specific reason for us to show up. Because again, we're the vehicles, we're the sacred temples in which these higher vibrations channel through, right? We all have a purpose. And we're just being encouraged to go and play. Okay. And I had asked, okay, so this is my first time playing with different tools because I've just received and waited for the messages, or I write, and that's how I get my messages a lot. I've cultivated that practice. And they said, it's because in those moments when you're going through your dark night of the soul, you're going through that cycle of the shedding, and you feel like your vibration, you feel disconnected, but you know in reality, ultimate truth, you're not. You can come in and play with these beautiful spiritual tools, energy, all things around you that are streaming and vibrating with the energy of life, and work with them, because it'll help you. Just like the curly-headed hippie said, you know, it'll elevate my energy, right? It'll help me to tap into this belief system and remembrance of who I am. And Raphael, oh my God, she said this beautiful wisdom, and she said, you are a holder of frequency. And what that means is that you hold this vibrational frequency, and this is what we're called out to cultivate our high vibrational selves, right? And embody it in this reality, in this lifetime now. No more bullshit and going back and forth, you know, dipping our toes in the water and come back out, right? It's more about like fully committing and embodying that higher self now. If you see yourself as a wizard, then you are. If you see yourself as a priestess, then you are. Then how do you express that? And she said, you hold the vibrational frequency no matter what happens around you. If someone or the situation might not be reflecting their higher self, but you're probably the beautiful medicine to deliver the message and to wake someone else up. And we won't ever really hold and continue to hold that vibration until we believe in ourselves and continue that spiritual practice, daily devotion to us, and see ourselves as the beautiful, sanctified human vessels in which your soul chose to come in this present moment in time. I'm just taking a moment to breathe in and then also to read the comments here. Oh, yes. Thank you, curly-headed hippie, who share these beautiful, beautiful messages and your beautiful smile. And I'm really grateful because I know that my tribe is already here. And I see you guys sharing your messages, being bold, expressing yourself, and we are breaking out. We are stepping out. And so this is just a confirmation of continue to cultivate your gifts, continue to play, continue to believe, and continue to connect with those around us, you know, who are on that same path. Not that we're putting anyone else down. It's just because we're strengthening ourselves so that we can go do that, what our soul's calling us to do in this present moment in time, if you choose to do so. And I pray you do, because this is why you came here, is to have a beautiful experience and to like really embody the divinity within you. And I think that's the fun part of the journey of the traveling soul here. And we'll see what other beautiful miracles, just the divine synchronicities that come up for us. So comment down below what tools are calling you out to play with them, to connect, to help you to get back to a knowing of who you are. What goddesses, frequencies, gods are coming forth for you. Who are you working with right now? Because I think once we definitely connect down in the comments or just in these chats, right, that helps to encourage the other person who sometimes, again, like I said, you might dabble in and dabble out because you might not be holding on to and committing to that belief, right? But we're here. We're here and we're beating, right? Our hearts are beating. So I pray you guys have a beautiful night. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And I love you guys. Divine Priestess, Divine Empress, Divine Cosmos, signing out. Later. And I pray you guys, thank you so much for joining. And Oh, actually, I missed a couple of chats if you guys are still here. We had some people say here that they are a Pisces energy as well. And this is why Instagram needs to be able to connect with everybody else on the Restream channel. But I will get back to the comments if I did not address it on the live and message you all. Thank you so much for joining, and signing off.